Hello and welcome to this lesson where we will discuss about the basic steps in Python using which we can access the data, and then we can explore the data a little bit to understand what are the different columns and rows in the data and what type of data it is and what we are going to do with this. So in this lesson, we'll basically start with a list of resources, basically a resource page that we can use to access various different things while doing our machine learning programming. And then we'll see how to access the data and how we can understand or start understanding the data. So this is the resource page for Analytics School Online, and here you can see the different important resources, links to various pages, and the initial few links are related to machine learning concepts like different machine learning tasks, bias variance trade-off, related length, the machine learning algorithms by types. We'll keep adding more resources to this page, so whenever you refer to this page, you'll get a lot of things that you can read from. The next set of items are in the datasets column or the datasets section, where we have different datasets which you can use for practicing, and there is a very basic description of what this dataset consists of. So I'll first go to the open ML datasets, which from where I'll go to the Titanic data and download the Titanic data, and from here I'll just download the CSV file for now, and we'll use the CSV for our initial programming. So I've saved the data, CSV data here, and I've named it Titanic. And now I have to just specify this path in my program, and I have to then mention this Titanic name and then import the data in my file. Let's see how we do that. So I'll run few simple statements like import numpy np, import pandas as pd. So why we write np or pd is because we have to use these names quite frequently in our program, so we don't want to type numpy or pandas every time. So just use some kind of abbreviation. You can use anything here that you feel comfortable with, and then we can just run these two things, and that's it. We have imported these two libraries in our environment. Now I'll just do one more thing. From sklearn, I'll import preprocessing and run it, and that's it. Now we have to import the data. So for that, we use this command Titanic df. Let's say Titanic data frame is equal to pd.read csv read underscore csv, and here we have to specify the path from where we need to read the data. So I'll just specify within quotes the path where the data was saved, and then the name of the data file was titanic.csv, and remember we have to change this backslash to forward slash. And now if I just run this command, let's see how it goes. Yeah, so we have successfully read. So now if I want to see a preview of what we have read, so I just do this. I just write the name of the object where we store the data, so that is Titanic underscore df, and I just type dot head. In the bracket, I just mention how many rows I want to see. So let's say I want to see 5 rows, and then I just run this, and this gives me what our data looks like. So this is the first step of our data exploration, where we just pick up initial few rows of the data and see how it looks like to get a feel of the data. So this is all that I'll discuss in this lecture, apart from the fact that in this in this whole data, we also want to see what we are trying to do with the data. So basically we are trying to predict the survival rate in this data. So that we see that the survived column has 1 or 0 based on the person survived or not. So we just want to pick certain rows of the data from which we will delete this information, and basically we'll see whether we are able to successfully predict uh, the values from a training data set. So that's what we are trying to do. So basically we'll divide the data into two parts. One is training and one is test. And in the training data, we will have the survived column. In the test data set, we'll delete this and we'll see if on the basis of our understanding from the training data, if we are successfully able to predict the results in the test data set. So that's what we are trying to do the data. So whenever you have the data, just try to get a feel of it and try to understand what we are trying to do with this. So what is our target variable? What is our the variables for predictors variable? What are the predictors and how we can use those predictors to get or to predict predict the result or the target. So that's it for this lecture, and we'll continue discussing this. Thank you for watching. See you in the next lecture.